Habs fans, I would like to direct you to a little Twitter thread, okay? And this is going to be of quite interest because I'm sure quite a few people might have forgotten that this even went down. So, Daily Faceoff puts out an article that says, "Have the Florida Panthers galaxy brained themselves into oblivion?" This is after the Aaron Ekblad injury. Frank Sarvalli says, "Don't know if I agree, but this is a heck of a way for @MLarkinHockey to frame the question of what is facing the Florida Panthers with Aaron Ekblad out for a bit." And then Justin, aka Kraken MD, replies and says, "Canadiens Montreal are grinning ear to ear right now. Why? Because they have the Florida Panthers' first round pick from the Ben Sherratt trade out of all trades." And then Frank Saravalli replies and says, "Not really. The pick is top 10 protected." And then here come all the Habs fans up to correct him. People saying wrong, 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 wrong. And boom, he comes out and replies, says, "My apologies, and thanks to people responding for correcting, just checked in with a couple people. The Habs hold that pick free and clear. I did not read the stipulations correctly." Now, don't get me wrong. Do I think the Florida Panthers are still a good team even without Aaron Ekblad? Yes, I do. Look at yesterday. I know it's the Flyers who, by the way, were undefeated before last night, but the Florida Panthers, they came out and they beat that Flyers team 4-3. And look, at the end of the day, they're still a pretty decent team given who they have at forward and who they have in net. However, let me direct you to the defense of the Florida Panthers and credit my buddy Charles-Antoine Tremblay, who pointed this out to me, that this defense looks atrocious on paper. All right, this is the defensive lineup that the Florida Panthers rolled out yesterday against the Philadelphia Flyers and won with. Now, how many of these 6 guys do you recognize? I mean, if you're a casual / pretty big NHL fan but don't follow like every single team, you might know names like Mark Stahl from when he was a stalwart with the Rangers. You might know Gustav Forsling, barely. Okay, Radko Gudas, who's pretty much a goon, but sneakily a decent player as well. But guys like Josh Mahura, Matt Kiersted, Lucas Carlson, like these are guys that I've barely heard of, and I try to keep my finger on the pulse of the entire league all day, every day. So for the average viewer who looked at this, or anybody in general, like this is not a strong defense right now to be icing for a team that's supposed to be contending this year. I mean, I know they're winning, and they just won yesterday, but to me, a defense like this, it spells trouble because that's one of the biggest parts of your team. So again, this is just on paper, right? We don't know what's going to happen with either of these teams, to be honest, because the Habs are playing decent and better than people thought they would. But as far as the Florida Panthers go, this spells somewhat good news for the Montreal Canadiens because the lower the Panthers finish, the better draft pick the Montreal Canadiens are going to have. And can you imagine if the Florida Panthers somehow miss the playoffs, which I understand right now seems unlikely? Yes, but Huberdeau and Weegar were big parts of that team, and that defense looks way different. Elliot Friedman said on 32 Thoughts not too long ago, he said he's not too sure how they're going to defend because Weegar was such a big part of that defense, and him and Ekblad were tied by naught there. So it's a completely different team. Huberdeau, 115 points off your roster. Yes, Tkachuk helps with that. He scored over 100 points too. But, hey, who knows, man? I'm not saying this team's going to free fall and going to be in the lottery, but I'm saying that this might end up being a higher pick than the Montreal Canadiens and even the Florida Panthers thought it would be when the Ben Sherratt trade was made. Can you imagine? Okay, if you're the Florida Panthers brass and trading for, 20 games of Ben Sherratt literally means that you don't have a lottery pick anymore? Like, how crazy would that be? That would be, like, catastrophic for the Florida Panthers, and I'm here for it. I want to see all of it, please. Like, show me it. And that would just be so juicy to me. Like, if the Habs, imagine if the Habs somehow play decent and they don't win the lottery with their own pick, but they win the lottery with the Florida Panthers pick from Ben Sherratt, and that's what allows them to get Connor Bedard. I would laugh for eternity. Like, seriously, that would be amazing. That would be hilarious to see for the Montreal Canadiens, for the Florida Panthers, for the entire NHL. But, hey, to me, as the more that this pick would continue to drop for the Montreal Canadiens, the more the Habs fleecing continues. And that Hose Mad meme with Caillou, I like calling him that. Hey, it's all fun and games. I love Kent Hughes. I mean, I love it. Let's just see more of it. And I want to see what you guys think about this in the comments down below. As usual, of course, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.